Going on, gang? Decided to do this out the blue. Happy Memorial Day to you all. Cheers. So, got nothing prepared here. I guess we'll keep in line with, big news and stuff. Whatever I can strum up here. It's good, Thanos. I haven't actually been live in quite some time. I've done some pre-recorded Vloggish episodes, but nothing truly live for whatever reason. I like to think it might distract me or something. If I get caught up writing stuff. Nah, you didn't miss anything. I just would record them and on like photo booth and then upload them. What's up, Tim B? Tim and I were briefly conversing in the Mark Todd live review earlier, in which he gave me the second shout out he's done altogether, which was a flattering thing to happen. It's very nice of him to do. Referencing a smaller channel like mine. So I broke this out the other day. Yeah, I mean, I do too. I actually remember one time, I think it was during that one live that I did with Ryan. Within that day, I got like 10 subscribers, 10 new subscribers. That was impressive, to say the least. Yeah, it would be cool to do more like group lives again. Thanks, Tim. Well, it's I don't really know what to attribute it to. I think it just takes a lot longer to grow a channel than anybody may realize. You got to figure a lot of these subscribers for all these people, Grim Green having over 400,000 subscribers. I'm guessing, I've seen it grow, the numbers grow and all, but you got to also factor in all those people that subscribed like years ago. A lot of these guys have been doing this since like 2012, 2014. That's quite some time, so some of those subscribers, they may not even vape anymore, have not seen the channel in ages. I'm hoping that's not the case, but it's very possible. So the way I look at it is I'll look at like excuse me, I'll see how many views I get within like a day, and then maybe like a week, and then a month or 3 months or whatever, and then I compare it to like how many views someone like Grim Green would get in a day, a week, a month, or whatever, and just to kind of like gauge things, and he'll get as many views in one day as I'll get altogether. You know what I mean? It's just, but I think that there's probably like at least like 1,000 to like 3,000 people that are thorough, like through and through YouTube participants that watch almost any vape gear across the board, because I'm I'm kind of one of those people. I'll watch all sorts of people, smaller channels and everything. It doesn't matter to me. Um, all I care about is the content that the actual products that they bother to review. Like a little while ago, there was this guy from New Zealand or Australia. I think it's New Zealand. His name was Nick Wicks, no space. Nick Wicks, Nikwik. Um, he was putting out a lot of videos for a while, and he kind of slowed down a little bit. And that's what you'll see a lot with smaller channels. I mean, they'll come and go, and I don't know. He did a lot of boro stuff, and I enjoyed it, but I don't see him much anymore. There's another guy, Sorteal, Sorteal, does a lot of videos. I mean, it's mostly more like in that Vapors Cloud mid-grade rebuildable product type stuff. I'm pretty sure he's American too. He's got like a Southern accent or something. You know, there's all sorts of reviewers out there. And I could just tell by looking at everybody's views, especially those smaller channels, to kind of like grasp that there's certain like vape review loyalists, you know, people that will watch whoever's putting out content, which, you know, just shows like an integrity to that branch of community. You know what I mean? Like the people that are into it are really into it, basically. You pretty much have to be into rebuildables like this, you know. It takes a little bit more dedication. But I'll notice, like, when I was looking at a lot of those view count, I was surprised that actually, like, that pod stuff actually gets some views. I never watch any pod stuff, but some people must because it gets views to some extent, you know, more than I would have thought. Yeah, I see you in a lot of stuff, Tim. Most like I said, loyalists. Like I see a lot of the same names and a lot of the same, um, you know, people's lives. Like Fagan does so many video. I mean, people think of him as like a lazy jokester, doesn't give a fuck. He puts out a lot of. I mean, I know he's not like sweat and effort into it, you know what I mean? But he still like is very consistent, you know, and that's goes a long way. I watch a lot of his stuff, and that's why I said the other video, like I was so happy to see that it seems like he cares more about products again, which is great, you know, because he's so thorough with keeping up with everything, like always puts out videos. That's why, like, remember the vape show? It was so consistent for so long, and I think it was all because of him. I mean, because he's the only one that really sticks with that stuff. I mean, ST still does videos, and they all still do videos together and everything here and there. But you know, he's the only one that I think he has more output now that they don't do that show consistently. 8 out of 10 vapors use those pods. Wow. So I'm the only one that really doesn't use them things. You're into mechs. Dude, I got plenty of mechs that I just don't use. Like, I used to be into that stuff, and like, I want to use that stuff just to like break it out once in a while, but I just can't get back into that style. It's not like because it's not high end or something. It's just because like I can't handle that kind of draw. It's just too much cloudage and takes too much breath. I don't know. It's weird. I went from like super cloudy stuff, super airy stuff to MTL to RDL, and like, and then opened that up a little bit. So like, I love this song. I first heard this song in a skateboarding video called "Flip Sorry." Tom Penny's part, my favorite skateboarder. Here's a mech for you, Tim. What's up, Mike? Here is the Broadside Admiral Nashed. This is a 2700. It's basically mint. I've only used it a couple times, and I keep it in this box, so it should stay fairly nice. It was shiny. It looked shinier before, actually. It looked like white gold. It was so shiny. Even in the box, it got a little more rough looking. This was an interesting mech because it had that floating pin. This is the only mech I've had that had a floating pin. I used to love watching Vaping Bogan mech videos of any kind. I mean, they were very entertaining. The way he would go into switches, and he always just made everything sound so appealing. He still does, I mean, but yeah, it really impressed me. This has the clutch system, like a centrifugal clutch or whatever. Silver plated everything. This was nice. I had to get this, and like this was like I bought this like toward the tail end of me being into this kind of stuff. So I knew I wasn't really gonna use it like that, but I knew it was like a significant mech. So I got God. They made that many of these. 5,288. That's a lot. Oh, I have a mech review that I recorded like weeks ago that I just still haven't posted. I'll post that maybe tonight. I recorded a lot of stuff yesterday. I recorded top 10 single coil RTAs, and I did it like in a number of categories, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to like do it all in one thing or break it up, like, because I could do it in like an MTL category. I even did like the Chinese single coil category, RDL, DL of high end, so it's a nice chunk of time. So, but it's in separate clips, so I might do them in separate releases. I don't know. Whatever you guys think. Yeah, I have the Kennedy. I have a really nice Kennedy, actually. I'll have to break it out. It's a Vindicator 21 with a Kennedy 25 two post. And it's a nice custom. It's not actually custom, but it was listed as custom from EVs. God, what were they called? EV cigarettes in Florida. I remember, like, I used to love buying my stuff from them. They always had the latest suicide mods, Vapors Cloud, all that stuff. And then they just, because of the postal shit started happening, and then they stopped selling to anybody that wasn't in Florida for, I don't know if they're still like that, but yeah, EV Sig was great. I love that. I spent a lot of money from them. When we got our stimulus checks, I spent a lot of it on that. Brass. I don't like the smell. I hate brass RDAs, brass or copper RDAs. I don't know how that's ever a thing. I mean, as soon as you start using it, it turns green and it gets disgusting. So my Vindicator. Oh shit! I don't know. I think it's Cerakoted copper, but the RDA is stainless. I don't think they did. Maybe the whole thing is stainless. I hope it's not. I don't think it is. It's this really nice splatter looking one. It's not really splatter. They're like these streaks. It's black Cerakote with like these white streaks on it. Looks really cool. I got it right when they were closing up. I had my eye on it for so long, and then I knew it was my last chance to get it. I wanted it was called black and copper, or rose gold. Never mind, it was called rose gold. It was black Cerakote with like a goldish looking these streaks, and someone bought that, so then I bought the one with the white streaks. You needed to know all that, but it's nice to reminisce about this stuff, because when you start thinking about when vaping was very new to you, no matter what time period that was, it will always seem more significant and like enjoyable. Yeah, Kennedy's still around. It's weird. They said they were doing the flashlight thing a while ago, and then I heard that they were still going to close anyway, and then now they're not still closing. I think it's Cerakoted copper, but if I remember correctly, the RDA is Cerakoted stainless. But I don't know. I can't be sure. Oh, Kennedy only reopened 3 weeks ago. That's interesting. Well, good for them. Vert. Yeah, I never had that. Vert, they were Philly. They were American, right? In Tennessee or something, or Kentucky. Or were they in Florida? I think they were in like Kentucky, right? But then, but was Vert actually made in America? I think they're just an American company. Like, so many of those Met companies, man, they got called the fuck out. I mean, Armageddon, yeah, see China. Like, everybody just assumes certain companies are where they're from. You know what I mean? But some of them really lie about it. Designed in Canada? Now, I know, speaking of Canada, so that review that I'm sitting on is a Death Wish Mods mech. And I used to think they were made in Canada. They're made in China. Now, I know they sold, the business got sold over to England or whatever, but they're still made in China. And Purge, they got called the fuck out, right? They say they're made in the USA. And I think at some point they were, right? But then didn't they get caught that they actually make them in China? And I know Armageddon definitely got caught that they actually were selling, were made in China. So, and a lot of these boro companies are doing the same thing. Reload, that was another company that was assumed to be made in the U.S. There's so many of these companies, like, it's always the same story. That's why I'm always skeptical now, because if one of them will do it, they all might do it. My first mech was actually a clone Vindicator. It was, God, I think it was like $7 or $10. Maybe it was $14 because I got it with the RDA too. And the funny thing is, my clone Vindicator, when I got the authentic, the nice one I was talking about, the the clone one hits harder than one because the authentic one is a constant contact, whereas the clone wasn't. And it actually, I swear to God, it hits harder. And the clone one is brass, whereas the authentic is copper. So it's not like a conductivity thing. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, most of my stuff, even my clone stuff, most of it is authentic too. But like like for all the other shit I've talked about, I've just had so much transition between, when I first got into everything, I got my feet wet and everything, and the only way to do that for me at the time, because I really had even more limited income, was to just buy clone shit. So what am I vaping on? I got this out. Been a little more active in the groups this weekend because I've had more time because it's Happy Memorial Day. I think I said that already, but I had a little more time this weekend to actually do. Using my M key with the unknown RDA with Black Peak Saucer Cat. Normally I would hate the fact that silver's showing at the bottom, but at least I got a little bit of silver showing in these buttons to excuse it. Which Facebook groups am I in? I'm in all of them. I'm in every group that I could think of except for like the Narmods group, which I'd like to be in. I tried to get in the Narmods group like in the summer or in the fall or whenever it was. Told it was too. Oh no! Get out of here with your BMM group questions. Oh, thank you though, because you just. Thank you. Can I try to say your name? Hussein? Hussein? Baikal? Hussein Baikal. Oh, I did it right. Very nice. Awesome. I like language. I like words and shit. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a words guy. Oh yeah, so you're helping me segue into what I wanted to talk about. It's actually the thing that kicked me off into like wanting to do this live stream here. So, let's see. On my phone, I was talking to somebody who yesterday hit on BMM on the list. And honest to God, I don't even look at the list anymore. I never win, and I don't expect to ever win. I mean, I'm so negative, but like God, it's hard. It's not easy to win. I'll see the same people win. This one guy hit this weekend, right? I seen him win. No bullshit. At least. How can I be real? I really want to like be accurate. I don't know. Low like 4 times, but I really think he won like 8 times in like this year and a half. I swear to God. Now, I don't know anybody who could be that lucky, but I guess it's possible. Because it's not just the regular master list; it's also the collab list, and they're all. Even if you hit on the master list, you're still eligible for the collab list. So it's a little different. So let me see if I can find the. I'll never find it. I want to find the list on like how many people. Oh, here it is. So for people that aren't in that group, to give you an idea of how many people Oh, it was an open list yesterday? Yeah, so for example, yesterday 15 people won. And I think that's normally how it goes. Oh, I see it right here. Spring open, random X. Um, I'd say it's normal. That's about normal 15. I think it's normally like 10 to 15, right? I think sometimes it's been that low. Um, it's usually somewhere in between that, I'd say. Every end of the month is open. See, Mike, I don't pay attention, honest to God. I mean, because I'm not really fiending for any BMM mods here. I already got every one of every mod that interests me, except for the and I use them all regularly. The only thing I don't have is a mule. I'd like a mule. And honestly, I would like a color 3 window as well. But if I didn't have any DMM mods, yeah, I'd probably be looking on there. It's too much. I mean, especially when they do that. What is it in the fall? When they do like the homeless mods or whatever, and you got to do them quick strikes, and people are really invested in stuff. I mean, it's just too much. It gets a little too out of control for me. But I'm also, this is the one and only time I actually hit on some kind of mod randomizer that was significant. I mean, I think there was actually like somewhere between like, I think I seen that it was like 900 entries for this, and only 30 winners, or actually 10 winners, 3 different times. So I was one of 10 out of 900 entries. But I think they ended up finding out that only like it was 650 were valid. So, but that's still pretty significant. One and only time I've won on a randomizer. You'll have 3 entries. How? Oh, I will too. I'll have 3 entries next time. But you just won. But you won in a open, right? Or a collab. You won in a collab, right? Or an open. One of them. So it doesn't count. You still get entries. It was a color batch. Yeah. See, there's too many loopholes. That's why, like, if you're not in BMM, there's so much to know that you're not gonna know. Charles has no presence outside of that group. He does not. He very rarely makes any kind of appearance or comments or anything like that, unless it's in his own group. So you really don't get an idea of what he's about until you're in there. And when you are, it's very, it's definitely inviting or enlightening to figure out how he does all this stuff, how he makes this work. Because the guy's definitely motivated. I mean, for him to pull all that off just by himself, it's pretty impressive. Some modders are so slack, they really slack, and I think a lot of them hide behind their the European ones kind of use the language barrier to like their advantage. There's no, I don't know. I'm just speculating here, but he's very ambitious that way, and definitely one of the more respectable modders, I'll say. Okay, so what I'm still not even talking about what I wanted to talk about. Again, yesterday a friend, so I don't know. I've been on the website. I've bought things from the website, But until you're actually selected or you win, um, you don't get to see. Now, I've seen screenshots of the drop down menus and all for like your options for when you pick the mod. Um, so a lot of times, sorry, um, my dog was trying to get in and then it ran away when I went to open the door. So a lot of times you know, if you go on and see the options will change. You know what I mean? Like the colors are generally consistent unless it's like a splash, more multicolored option or whatever. But the patterns change. So something I just found out is that you only have everybody sees that there's different designs for BMM, right? So when it started, or let me say, when the Bora mods, right? For when the 38 started, this was the first pattern. You're not going to be able to see much. Well, you kind of can. It's the floral pattern. It's called. Okay. So, yeah, they don't make this pattern anymore. He won't do this anymore. This particular kind of pattern. That is my favorite pattern. Yeah, this one. And it's my favorite mod, sure. I mean, it's like choosing a favorite child, but I would say so. Um this this pattern's discontinued and I didn't know why. And I found out why today. Apparently, he's only going to do 100 of each pattern. Once somebody, is that 100th order that selects that pattern, it's going to be retired. Yeah, it looks like leather. Feels like leather too. So this pattern is retired. So there's only a few for there's a lot more. Actually, that's not even accurate. So the Borat had a lot of patterns because it's been out longer, but Borat's actually retired. Now it's the Borat R, and the Borat R has its own set of patterns because he had to redo the CAD file. So there's actually more patterns for this than there is for this now. But even so, there's still not that many. So the floral's retired. Then he did the camo. The camo pattern, or not camo, digi camo. It's called digi pattern. I just call it the digi pattern. I think so. I didn't really like that one. I still don't. Pretty much the only one I don't like. I don't think that's offered anymore either. And I know the koi pattern. I forget why he even did the koi pattern. I think it had some personal relevance for him. To me, I'm not. Some of them look cool, the colorful ones, but I really feel like it fits all that well thematically with Box Mod Mafia. I mean, it's just, to me, it's kind of out of left field. But that pattern is retired as well. So now, when he went on there, the only options were the Goyard pattern. And it's not just that, it's like the Goyard and the it's called Guy and Goyard or something. It's the mafia hat, mafioso guy on one side, and then the rest of it is this pattern. This is called Goyard, Goyard, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, I think it looks good. And The only other options are the monarchy pattern, um, which is really a collab because it's a whole other company's brand logo. This is another point I'll have. So, and then the last one is the Kill It Customs owl pattern, which is also technically a collab pattern. So that was surprising to hear because to offer a pattern that was actually used for a collab doesn't make sense to me. I thought it's for the collab, a one and done for that situation. So to continue offering that pattern when you're not actually getting the collabed RBA or whatever for it, I don't know. I was just surprised that that's like getting, like, you can't get the wicked one, right? So, or yeah, no, yeah, you can't get the wicked. Maybe because that they had already did 100. I don't know. See, I didn't know how that worked. This may be common knowledge to a lot of people that are in. I'll see you, Tim. It may be common knowledge to a lot of people that are in the group already, but to me, it's new. Hey, Paul. That was a color match. Doesn't count. No, just unknown. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so gotta sleep. Tim B, yeah, you're in the UK, I remember. So it's just one of those gray areas, you know. There's so many. I think that may be a lot of the allure to BMM because there's a wealth of knowledge to that company, that group, that outsiders have no access to. So it's like a mystique built because you want to learn more about it and you have no way of learning more about it unless some nerd like me tries to explain it to you or something, or you have friends that are in the group and they'll PM you an explanation or something. It's really cool, I think. There's do yourselves a favor, if you're into BMM, do yourself a favor and go on his website, Captain Chuck's Flavor Island, and that'll explain a lot to you. Speaking of websites, I always talk about this website, recoilrda.com, because that's where I get all this stuff. If you like any of these brands, they have a Memorial Day weekend sale going on. I forget what it is, whether it's 50% off or buy one get one or something like that. It's usually like that. I don't think there's any code this time. You just add it to your cart and it'll automatically do it. But I always like to shout them out because I just like their juice so much. I have no affiliation with them or anything. That would be like Dwayne and Nick. Pretty sure that's Dwayne's website. Yeah. So, geez, anything else I wanted to say? Yeah. So, Mark's live earlier. I was just really glad to hear that he shares my opinions with the CRRNT because I was feeling like a real jerk. Anytime I have to anytime I'm not giving praise to a product, I feel bad because I want to be you know, um, I don't want to be super negative on stuff. And I know, I feel like I'm getting that reputation or something, starting to come across like I'm a hater or like just bashing on people's gear, and I don't want to come across like that. I don't know. So I guess I can be a little harsh on certain things, but it's like I'm also trying to like get the point across that like definitely not gonna like be able to sway my opinion either. You know, whether I bought it or not. You know, I want to just be brutally honest if I can, because why not? Um, so yeah, I broke this out finally. I kept talking about it. The Type 2 RTA dual coil, which is I haven't done something like that in a while, with the Oda Mini on it. There's my dog. Maybe my dog will actually come through the door this time. There you are. So here we go. This be my dog. This is Bella. She just got home from a trip. That's why she's wearing this harness here. Very happy to see her. So yeah. I should edit those videos I recorded yesterday. I also broke this out too, since I seen a lot of. Thanks, Paul. Since I seen a lot of my RTAs that I normally don't bother with, a lot of them I decided to, you know, just trying to decide which ones I would break out again. So I got my Wicket, my Limelight Wicket, and this is the Millennium on top. Really like this. Is a MTL RTA. That's damn good. It's got a lot of different airflow options, and it's a 3-point system kind of thing for like taking the top cap off. It's really easy. Very smooth draw. I mean, it's just a perfect resistance and stuff like that. You know, it's like the the bore on this thing is very small. This strip tip. So yeah. Bella is like, I think she's like 12 years old now. I actually found this dog in an alleyway in Philadelphia when it was a little puppy. And I put up a fly for her. And so I took her to my parents' house because we had a big old yard. And, you know, she got her shots and everything and learned how to walk on a collar or on a leash, and been the best dog we ever had. Yeah. So, yeah, I think last week I was talking about the Vidar Vicious Ant Boro mod, how they've been doing this stabwood versions of it now. And I was so close to getting one. I'm telling you, like, there was 2 of them I was so set on, and I was so, yeah, the Vaping Gentleman's Club. I was so set on getting one of these. And I didn't. I held out. You know, I wanted to like kind of like treat myself, you know, like because it was my birthday last week. So, but I decided not to, and they stayed available. And instead, I finally got that camera. I got a camera coming. That's not this camera. this thing, as awesome as it is, it's a friggin' tank, and it's not meant for what I want to do. Thank you for the birthday wishes. It's not really meant for what I'm trying to do here. This would be like more for like actual filmmaking. Um, I needed something that was compact and good for autofocus because I'm a one man show here and holding the products up. It even has a thing called product showcase mode. So I'll be able to, like, without me touching the camera, I'll be able to hold something up. It'll switch focus to the product and then switch focus back to me when I take the product away. Like, that's duh for a lot of people that are into this camera stuff. But back when I was using digital cameras, that didn't exist. So, um, it's got a lot more features than that, but that's just one of those things that, like, it's going to make doing these kind of videos so much easier for me. So I just kind of had to back off and hold out, and there'll be more Vidar stab wood mods up, probably ones that I like even better. So they only just started doing the stab wood resin Vidar. So I don't care if it's called Veeder or whatever the hell. I'm calling it Vidar. Sounds better. You didn't know it's my birthday? Well, it's in the title last week. Well, I haven't seen you around too much, Paul. Not as much. Honestly. Sony's eye autofocus. Yeah, it has an AI chip in it now. It can distinguish between all sorts of stuff: buses, trains, birds, planes, whatever. It can rack focus between two different people within the same framing. It can do auto framing, so it looks like someone's filming you, like within the same frame, static frame. It all sorts of stuff. The microphone's good. So yeah, this will be really good to have. The low light capabilities, all that stuff. Um, Left or right eye priority. Yeah. I mean, I was pretty taken aback by how much it could do. I can stream uh, through USB. I can stream 4K 30 frame per second. That's pretty good. The only thing is it can overheat. So um, for longer streams like this I'm still in bounds. But if I do like a 2-hour stream, I would probably just put it at HD. It would still look good. But yeah, so I think I did the right thing and just held out. You know, I'm just hopefully they keep making those Vidar stab woods. I've wanted a stab wood boro mod for quite some time, and there's not that many of them out there. You'd think somebody would like dive into that possibility there. I know they exist, but there's nothing good. Like there's the Giro, but that's not. It's exposed. Like, I mean, like, I want a whole stab wood mod. No tube, no exposed. The Giro is nice, but I heard the value of the D650 is actually going down a little bit. As for like newer things, it was probably the most valuable mod in the last weeks. So I think that's finally kind of balancing out. They went from being worth like 1,500 to I seen one sell yesterday, like a really nice Blanco one for 650, which is almost RRP. CBOT's rising. Yeah, I could see that, but It's because he's not made. I think I don't know. I don't know. I feel like he may be holding back a little bit on his output, which is driving up the value. Or he's taking his time, or he's had setbacks. I'm just speculating. Could be setbacks, could be financial. I have no idea. But part of me thinks maybe he's slowing down his output because he knows if he just cranks them out, the value they'll not be as sought. Look at the Orca, the resin Orca. That thing was worth a fair bit of change, and then slowly was declining. And then when he did that Black Friday sale that never ended, now you can get a beautiful, really nice resin Orca for like $200 when that thing should be worth a lot more. So it's all supply and demand, and for the CBOT being more valuable, and it depends on what CBOT you're talking about. I seen a regular, like the old style CBOT, a black monarchy version, but not as light, a CBOT. It sold for $350 yesterday, from a reputable person because I bought gear from her in the past. So yeah, the control one. I'm pretty close with somebody who has one, and yeah, dude, all those resin orcas they sell cheap, two to 350 tops. It's crazy. It's crazy, and they don't even sell; they just sit there. So yeah, friend of mine who has actually contributed to this channel by letting me review some of his product. He has one, and I actually parted with my I did it killed me to do it, but in a way it worked because I was able to pull off that camera. I sent him my rusty water control panel for his CBOT control, the KBOT. I'm calling it a KBOT because sounds better, right? Sounds accurate. The control CBOT collab. Yeah, it should be called a KBOT, I would think. Yes. Thanks. See, Ben gets it. The KBOT. I think it. I hope it catches on. I think has a nice ring to it. So, Paul, you like that Vidar? Vidir? Vader? I was hesitant about them when they first came out. Well, one, when they came out in black, they didn't look that great. They just kind of looked like that ambition mod. I remember what they called it. That one from Ambition. What was it called? I can't remember. It looked kind of like that. And then I also heard like quality complaints about them. So I wrote them off, that mod, for a long time. And then when I just seen these Stabwood ones, now I may be taking too much credit saying like, oh, well, they sold now because I was talking about them last week. I'm not Jay Hayes here, but Bogan talked about them in a recent review when he was talking about his other Vicious Amp products that he just got in from them. It seemed like right after he did those videos, they sold, because Vicious Amp, even though they're high end, I don't really look at them as like a high end company in their practices. The quality's there, but it's like high end for people that don't buy high end. You know what I mean? Because it's so accessible because they have that website. So it just seems a little more hokey. Like, I don't know, you don't have to do any homework to get it. You can just go on that site and buy it. Whereas like real high end, you got to fight your way into these groups and onto these lists and all this bullshit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just high end for the masses more so. That's the way I look at it. You want to let your peak ion go? Well, that peak ion cost you $700, I believe, before shipping. This one, isn't that right? This was 500 Ultim, and I'd consider Ultim and Peak to be like probably the two more premium prices when you buy a mod that's all that material, along with like Juma or like something like micarta or stab resin and stuff. But just regarding like the more essential plastics, um, Ultim and Peak, they're always going to cost more than the Delrin and more than 3D. There's still a couple left on the Vicious Ant website. Just type in Vicious Ant on Google. It cost you $1,200. Well, you must have bought it used. Damn, $1,200. I don't think I ever spent that. Yeah, I never spent that much on a mod. On like just a mod. Shifting over to BMM. I mean, okay. I think there's room for all of it. I wouldn't let one of these, they're my favorite things. Like, these are my favorite things. Like, just to like be transparent about it. I think these are the best mods ever. Two BMM mods, an Ion and a Unica. If I could only have 4 mods. So I would hate to like not have any Ion. Oh, like those RJ wicked panels, they're too expensive to me. I don't see the value. I don't know. I want to see my, well, was it a 3 window or a 2? Either way, like, I don't know. The only time I'm okay with panels that cover up the boro window is with control, because I do really, not all control products. I don't like the old control stuff. Like, I don't like control dash box stuff. I don't like control Orca stuff. I don't like control. I'm picky stuff. I like the switches, but I really like control Ion, control Borat, control CBOT, control KVR, and I don't even really like the KVR, but the control panels make the KVR, and I've never had any issue with quality from control. Sway stuff is always, from my experience, has always been made well and fit like a glove to every product. It's a shame he's so copied now. People talk about clones. If you want to talk about clones, look at all the companies that use, and reputable companies that basically stole his look, his style to a T. Nobody gives them any crap for it, and I doubt they've taken anything away from him, but they kind of have. They really stole the thunder, the unique thing that Control had going for it. Still always going to be, But yeah, I like the Astro Control stuff. I don't like the Harbor the Harpy Harbor control stuff. I'm just picky, but it's good to be picky. It's good to know what you like. As long as you don't need to look at everybody else to tell you what you like. As long as you have your own taste, that's all that matters. Whether it aligns with my taste or it's your own taste. I have some friends that we see eye to eye on certain products, and then we into the scale with other products, and that's all well and good. I seen somebody post a picture of this today. Look just like mine with the frosted panels. I'm still so heartbroken about my Blanco being gone. I wish it was you. But it. Or since the prices are changing, E650 one of these days. My Carta in G10. Why, yes, of course I do. Control did the coolest thing with this. I mean, they've added so much to Sway added so much to this mod by doing this one thing. All his stuff, I had controls on my Delro too. I mean, I like control stuff, but he always has that kind of switch where he turns it into a fire bar, essentially. Except for this, the original Ion panels, which I actually like better. I love the K cutout. The original Ion control panels used the OG button, the mod stock button, whereas the ones he did afterward were more like this, where it was its own button. But the control, what they brought to the table for the Borat is the fact that you can fire it from here and from here. And I love that. I don't know. It's like a mech. You know what I mean? I don't use mechs anymore, but it's kind of like using that like a mech almost. I don't do this all the time, but I can hit it like this, and I like that. I don't know. It's just unique. It blew my mind. I'm like, wait a minute, there's a fire button on the bottom too? But why? It's just interesting. Like very convenient to use, but when you at first I tried to use it with my pinky. I'm like, what am I doing? But if you look at it like as if it was a Mac, you can I don't know, it's great to me. Little stupid shit like that makes or breaks something for me. The novelty wears off a bit. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still do that sometimes. Click it from the bottom. I don't know. I mean, there was time if I was gonna get rid of a lot of this stuff, the prime time to do it has already come and gone. So there's really no reason to. I mean, I don't if I'm not gonna, I've been telling myself recently, it's like, I'm not gonna even break even on a lot of this stuff anymore, then I may as well just keep it because it still means more to me than the feeble amount of money I'll get in return. So it's nice pretending. Mechs aren't that complicated. I mean, really, they're not. I hope you're joking. I was kind of, when I first started, I was kind of excited and nervous about mechs, but it doesn't take much to realize what is required of it. You know what I mean? You got dual coils. Use the 21700. Don't go below 0.10 or 0.9, really, if you want to push it. I hear some people use 0.7, 0.8. I don't do that, but 0.10 is pretty much the best I do. You're clumsy. Yeah, I mean, if you do want to test it. That's why I never got anything like a ruby. Used to consider a ruby, but from Kennedy because it's all one thing. But I'm not gonna build. I don't want to build something and not be able to like test fire it on a regular board or not. Sometimes all it takes is a little frayed wire, and I don't know. I just don't want any problems. You know what I mean? I've seen Grim Green when he had a couple, not explosions or nothing, but he had a couple shorts on lives that I've seen, and I just didn't envy him. I laughed my ass off, honestly, but it also made me nervous too to think like, you forget an insulator or something, and it could be bad news. I mean, and with builds like that, it's even more powerful. So it's just you got to keep that shit in mind for sure. You got asthma. Yeah, I mean I don't have asthma, but I don't have the lungs for that shit no more. I vape too much. This is a nice bit since I just did my RTA video. I didn't edit it yet, but I'm recording that RTA video. Rewick this again because it had been sitting for just a little bit. Casperdina, Golden Greek, Stratum. This is a nice RTA. I believe this one, I think it was just in Europe, but I know it won like best RTA of the year. I don't know if that's just in Europe or how official that ranking really is, but it's cool. Yeah. Did I show this already? I think I did. I don't know if I did. I put a picture of this up. The Asmodus, or not Asmodus, Ultroner stabwood resin with the Monarchy J3S V1 OG. Great. Super lightweight setup. This is the only legit DL high-end RTA. The GT4 and 5, but I think that's way better. Yeah, it's so small and it's DL. It's a bottom fill though, but it's a convenient bottom fill. I'm usually pretty leery about bottom fill. That's convenient. Yeah, so I think I hit all the things that I've been using recently that aren't my usual things. I want to hit these. I'd like to use this K-Fun Prime. I haven't used this in a long time. Here's the ether. I just need to clean this out because I don't like having super dirty stuff sitting around. Speaker Pro. I want to clean this out and use it. I have not used that in a while. I was debating that actually. K-Fun Prime or K-Fun Lite? Tell me which one you like better in the comments. I'm using one of them soon. This was actually kind of tight compared to this. I thought this was the tighter one. It's not. I was using this all last week. God damn. Took this to work with me all last week. It's so good. Yeah, I want the K-Fun 5. Not the 5 squared, the OG 5. I still want that. Anybody that has the K-Fun 5, but more so, anybody that has the Squape Enduro, hit me up, man. I want that really bad. I had the chance to even get the, I mean, I still might have the chance to get a, what the hell's it called? 143? And it's just too much friggin' money. I would love it. Love to try it at least. But yeah, those are the only RTAs I'm really interested in. Mostly that Enduro. You got the squape. You know how many squapes there are? There's a lot of squapes. Yeah, no, there's tons of squapes. It's not just one squape. There's tons of squape RTAs. The Enduro, the X Dream, the Arise. There's like 3 different Arises even. And then there's like MT. There's the Squape E Emotion. I said Squape X, the Enduro. You know, it's all like a letter and then the name. Nah, yeah, there's a bunch of Squapes. They've been around for a long time, actually. What the fuck are they called? Not Sfomesto. Squape is SQ. What the fuck does it stand for? StatQuam. StatQuam. Switzerland. Mark Fagan thought it was from Sweden. He said it's Swiss made, so that means it's from Sweden, right? He said it right the first time though. He said Switzerland, and then he went back and said Sweden. The K-Fun Mini, is it the K-Fun V3 Mini? Is that what you mean? Because I heard that was the other really good K-Fun that I never got to try. No, I have not tried any K. I'm very limited on K-Funs because I don't actually like K-Funs that much from my experience. That's why I want to give this a try again. I mean, the K-Fun 5 squared is pretty good, but it's huge. And I know it's very different than all the other K-Funs because it's airy. You know, I don't. Yeah, so, you know, I don't. Yeah. But I think the K-Fun 5 is going to be just that right amount of like RDL that I look for in a good RTA. So after the hour mark, I do think I'm gonna split. Oh wait, Toasty, I read your comment and forgot to say hi. So hi. And Ben, thank you for your comments. It's nice to hear you chime in here. I don't even remember what that comment was about. SSS Lab. I mean, are we talking about the D650? That like I don't know, the Defy ones even. I don't know. Uh, they all look good still though. I mean, can't say they don't. When you back on next, bro? I have no idea. I do this completely at random. At one time I was like trying to do this like every Friday, but then I was like doing it at the same time that FAQ Friday would be on, and I don't know. It all depends on how I'm feeling at that moment. It's random. I could try to do like a timed one next time I decide to do it instead of just gunning for it. But got the STSURBA comment. Hatman, I don't even know what the hell that is at all. I'll have to look that up. I have no idea who makes it. I can't keep up. You, Paul. I'm the same way. I mean, I don't know anybody in person that vapes. I've talked to plenty of people online and stuff from the groups. If you really want some vaping camaraderie and sociability, go in these groups. I'm telling you, it will work. It will work. It will help. You will definitely get some kind of interaction that's conducive to like developing the hobby further for you. I don't think if I used Facebook groups, I think I would have lost interest in vaping a lot more a while back. But once I got into the groups, it reignited the whole thing for me again because everything was starting to die. The vape mail bans, the people getting strikes, YouTubers dropping off, pods, everything was going downhill. And then I found groups and high end and I got back into it. You got off this one. That's cool, Paul. Keep it going, man. You know, once you get off drugs, it's hard to find a new social outlet because you just associated socializing with getting high. Or it was easier to avoid socializing because you could fall back on getting high. You know what I mean? All that goes into it. I know I'm drinking a beer, but trust me, this ain't nothing compared to what I used to be. Helped out with some harm reduction stuff. What does that mean? You worked at a vape shop? Or you just talk to people about vaping, like if you see them smoking kind of thing? Yeah. Well, the only reason I won't smoke pot is because I just want, I get bad, I just don't get a good feeling from it. I did when I was young, like much younger, but it's weird. When I was like 16 to like 18, I liked smoking weed and I got into rock and roll and the Beatles and everything like that. I would write music and record music, play guitar, and it was a very musical, creative outlet for me. And then somewhere in that, it started making me feel lazy and then getting paranoid. Gonna breathe, and it's like now I hate it. I like the smell and the taste of weed. I just cannot smoke it. I just have a bad vibe from it. Yeah, I'll maybe feel good for like 5, 10 minutes, half hour tops, and then I get like overstimulated and then like paranoid and anxious, and then I can't breathe, and then I have to sleep for any amount of time. Just I have to sleep, and then it'll go away, and I can breathe again. So I would tell myself that it would go away. I would be like, it's going to be okay this time, and it would never be okay. And then so I finally just gave up on it. Yeah, I've been trying to get my boss to stop smoking and start vaping because he friggin' smokes in the car with me, and on my side, it's his work. So I always have to ask him to lower the window. Sometimes he forgets, so I'm always having to ask him to lower the window. He's always smoking, drives me fucking crazy. So I gave him a vape, and he really don't even use it. He says he uses it at home. Bullshit. Use it now with me, so I don't have to deal with your. It's weird. I mean, now that I don't smoke cigarettes, I hate them, and I can't stand having a beer. Like once in a while, if I get a whiff of it, it's kind of I like it. But like if I have to be in a closed space with someone constantly smoking, I hate it. I can't breathe. It makes me tired. Gives me a headache instantly. Fuck that. All right. My one beer is done, and I am closing this out. They see me with, yeah. It's all good. I'm heading off too. Yeah, Hat Man. I told my shit cost or how much. I told him that the thing I let him borrow. I'm like, because I asked for it back, and I'm like, we'll get you a caliburn or something, dude. Like, unless you're gonna be serious about it and use it all the time, especially when I'm stuck in the truck with you, then I'm taking this shit back because it was $150. So we'll get you a $20 caliburn, and you can figure it out for yourself. You know what I mean? Your 500-pound vape, yeah, which is even more money here. So, all right, Paul, I'll see you. Thanks for talking, man. Hat man, I'm bouncing too, brother. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, it looks like you and Paul sticking it out there. Anybody that chimes in chat, I greatly appreciate you because it definitely helps keep the momentum going for me. Definitely helps me. I always try to participate in people's chats because, well, one, I like typing. I don't mind writing stuff, but I don't know. It helps keep the shit alive. You know what I mean? So greatly appreciate that. Ben, if you're still here, I'll see you too. Thanks for talking. And then Tim, he split a while ago. All right, that'll do. That'll do it. Toasty, thanks for chiming in, brother. Appreciate yous. And oh, you're still here, Ben. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, happy Memorial Day, guys, and see you on the next one. This is, like I said, this has been the first legit live in quite some time. So very nice of you guys to show up. Yeah, Mark Todd, man, that was really cool. Very nice of him. He actually gave me two, one in the beginning of the video and one at the end. Very nice of him. And it's a shame because it's a shout out to a video that I didn't really give a very nice review of. I mean, it's not bad. I was trying to be fair to the current RDA. I mean, because I do like Aaron. I think it's Hussar's fault that the tolerances weren't very good and stuff. So it's not really on him. And I was glad to hear from Mark Todd that they're doing an update to it for the second batch. So that's the most important thing, right? Batch one is over. Doesn't matter anymore. It's in the past. And mine was a batch one. Batch two, you'll still get the same great design. It'll just be executed properly. And that's what it's all about, right? And yes, being honest, that's what's important. You know, I'm not, much as I like Karen, I'm not going to lie for him. I'm not going to put on airs for anybody. I'm just going to, and I paid for the fucking thing, so I'm going to be blunt. It's just how I approach this. People get personal about it for the fucking thing, so I'm going to be blunt. It's just how I approach this. I hate when people get personal about it. And I just hope he didn't take it as an insult. Is my whole thing. So, with that, again, thank you all, and y'all have a great evening, and I'll see you next time.